Guys, all right, here's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about the Indigo Girls. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Here's the Indigo Girls are, God, I mean, I know a lot of you know me because I love rock music. That's what I grew up with. But the Indigo Girls, you gotta, if you've never heard more than a couple songs, you gotta listen. We don't have to, but I mean, you can't judge something until you listen to it, right? You know, I mean, I've heard enough Coldplay songs to know my feelings about that. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with the first one, technically the first one, but not really. So Indigo Girls self-titled record from 1990, I think, right? Oh, 89, look at that. So I'm gonna tell a story. Here's how it is. I grew up on Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, Whitesnake, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi. My dad was in a band, you know, in the 70s, and we like Kiss, rock music. That's what it is, rock music. That's what I love. I'm a rocker. You know, I played drums to Van Halen's first records when I was a kid, Motley Crue, Dokken, Warrants, Whitesnake, whatever. Love it all. And I had no interest in anything else. Very one-dimensional musical taste up until my 14 or 15, I think. You know, like my first albums were Whitesnake, Halloween, Sammy Hagar. Like, nothing wrong with that stuff. Love it. That's where my heart is. Like, that's my core. That's my foundation. And I really didn't give much thought to any other kinds of music. I was like, oh, it all sucks, you know. So, I can't remember what happened first. Either the Indigo Girls or Sting happened to me first. But those were the two artists that kind of opened my brain up a little bit. So, I started to love harmony a lot. I started to appreciate harmony or realize what I liked about my favorite bands was the big choruses. I'm a huge harmony junkie. So, one day I was watching one of those VH1 things, those VH1 like best artists of the whatever. So whatever it was like best female artists of the 90s or something like that. And they were counting down, you know, they were counting down. It was Joan Osborne and Paula Cole and Jewel and like, you know, a lot of them were, it's fine. They didn't do a lot for me. And then they ended up, one of them was the Indigo Girls. And it really was kind of on in the background while I don't know what I was doing, but I remember I wasn't like focused on it, but it was on. And then they just did this little snippet on Indigo Girls, and they did a little bit of Closer to Fine, which is the song that everybody knows, but I never heard it. And the chorus that they played on the little bit on the VH1 was like, closer I am to find, like this 4-part harmony, this beautiful hook, this great hook. Great vocal hook. Everything drops out and it's huge harmony and it's beautiful. And I'm like, I love that. Like, I love it. You know, this is why I love Def Leppard and Winger, because they got those big harmonies. And I never heard it. And I was like, that's really cool. So on that little bit on VH1, I went out and bought, I don't remember how long it took, but I got this record. I was like, Indigo Girls. Let's go find that. Let's go find out about the Indigo Girls. So I got it. First song. And again, on the VH1 thing, you don't know anything about the lyrics. I just heard the hook, liked the hook, bought a whole album because I liked the hook. So I always come home, or at least I used to come home, and put the record on and open it up and read along. Like, I'm going to read along. I got to know what they're saying. Because up to this point, it was really songs about mostly partying, girls, rock and roll, cars, you know, love, death, you know, the big topics. And I started reading along, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to tell you something about my life. Give me insight between black and white. The best thing you've ever done for me is help me take my life less seriously. The darkness has a hunger that's insatiable. The lightness has a call that's hard to hear. Holy balls. You know, I wrap my fear around me like a blanket. I sailed my ship of safety till I sank it. And I'm like, what? What is that? And then it's there's more than one answer to these questions pointing me in a crooked line. And the more I seek my source for something definitive, the closer I am to find. And I'm like, I don't know what in the hell is what. So, and then it goes to paint a picture. I saw a doctor of philosophy and blah blah. I've spent 4 years prostrate to the higher mind, got my paper, and I was free. Like, I went through high school and I got out. But the words. So what this did, and that's just his first song. And then I started to read them all, and I'm like, Kid Fears and History, Love's Recovery was like, I'm sorry I'm geeking out now, but I am. You know, feeding the cancer of my intellect, the blood of love soon neglected, lay dying in the strengths of its impurity. And I'm like, that's freaking amazing. Like, I never heard anything like this. painting picture perfect masks. Okay, I could do this all day. You don't really need to hear me quote Indigo Girls. My point is, my mind opened up and I went, this is amazing. Now, I understand now that everybody stands on the shoulders of somebody, and they were standing on the shoulders of more than I'm aware of, but Dylan, just Paul Simon, lyrical songwriters who just put a lot of work into the lyrics and try to really say something and use beautiful imagery. Like, it's kind of folkish from what I've grown to understand. I don't understand much, so if I'm off on any of this, I'm sorry. But what I took from this was songs can be about mortality. They can be about life. They can use really pretty images that bring up paintings in your mind. And I just go, that's awesome. And, Motley Crue, I love Motley Crue, but it's just a lot more on the nose. And this was so beautiful. And this album opened me up to that kind of song, that kind of songwriting, that kind of imagery. It taught me that lyrics matter. That's about the best way I can put this. That's pretty true. This taught me that you shouldn't just write baby rhymes with crazy and world rhymes with girl. You should really sit and go, how am I going to draw this picture and make it interesting? Not just, so that's about all that I have to say about that. I upon hearing this, I tried to write my own little Indigo Girls song. It's called Lost. It's on Stolen Season, and it's me basically just trying to be the Indigo Girls. It's me trying to write really, really great, interesting lyrics, and try to dig down deep as like a 21-year-old or whatever I was. Yeah, that's all I got. I would again recommend this record if you want to get a little bit more out of your songs. If you want a little more meat on the lyrical bone, Indigo Girls. And this, of course, started my love affair with every other Indigo Girls record that exists. I tried to. There's 5 more. Wait, hold on. They've been at it for a very long time, and they're very, very good. There's not one bad Indigo Girls record. So those are my thoughts on the Indigo Girls, and I'll probably review another album or two of theirs later, because Become You is one of my favorites ever. Beautiful. Oh, and I'm going to say this. The one they put out a couple years ago, or last year. Oh, where'd I put it? One Lost Day. Sorry. This is really good. This is really, really, really good. So if you don't have that and you like the Indigo Girls, pick up the new one. This is really solid. Best one they've done in like 10 years, in my opinion. And that's 8 minutes about the Indigo Girls. Oh my gosh. Is anybody still watching? All right. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel. Anything else you want me to talk about, I'll be glad to do it. And I wonder how many rockers just lost respect for me. Good song's a good song, man. If it moves you, it moves you. That's it. All right. Thanks for listening.